we're still a couple years down the line before we start seeing Din Thomas where he's not fighting. They're calling it a comeback right now, but I know you don't like to call it a comeback. You got a big fight coming up down in Florida for Fight Time Promotions. I think it's Fight Time 7. Howard Davis Jr., who's the CEO of Fight Time, he's former Olympic gold medalist, and he's doing it right down in Florida. He's putting some great shows together, and they got you headlining, which is huge for them. How do you feel about this? When was the last time you got in the cage?
Well, they're actually calling it the return of Din Thomas. I'll tell you what, man, when I saw the poster of that, because they just asked me to fight, and I was like, yeah, man, I'll do it. Yeah, bring somebody, yeah. But then when I show up and I see this poster, it's like the return of Din Thomas, and I see my big face, my big mug on the front. I'm like, oh my God, this is a big deal. So I was honored by that. I was tickled by that. I was like, wow, I can't believe Howard did this, you know. But so they kind of locked me into fighting. Like I couldn't turn back if I wanted to. But yeah, I was ecstatic about that. But actually, what was the question? I can't even remember.
Well, I want to know, where are we going with this?
Yeah, where are we going with this? You know, I've been fighting since, like I said, I've been fighting. My first professional fight was at the end of 1998. There was nothing left for me to prove. I was ranked number 3 in the world at one point in my division. There's nothing left for me to prove. What I want to do now is have as much fun as I possibly can. I love to train. You know, I think I'm taking this fight just so I can get an excuse to train hard. You know, so I love to train. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to put on the best fight. I want to put on one of my best performances. That's really what I want to do. You know, there's no pressure on me. And a lot of people always go, oh, man, I'll fight Din Thomas. You know, I ain't got nothing to lose. He got everything to lose. Guess what? I ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I have nothing to lose. The person I'm fighting got something to lose, some teeth, blood, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I ain't really got nothing to lose. So, I hope nobody thinks that, like, that I got something to lose by this, because, like, I'm not, you know, I don't care. I'm going out to fight, put on a show. I might be, you know, having a good time, making jokes the whole time.
Well, I remember we did the Ultimate Fighter Season 4 together. I spent 6 weeks with you. You got to cut my hair a lot. You know, we had a lot of nice mornings together where you told me about your life.
Nice. We ain't have no nice mornings
well,
together.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, these guys that woke up like at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I remember you were always cracking jokes, having a good time, and it seemed like while you took winning very, very seriously, you never let the weight of competition take away from your momentum. You know, I never saw you that it felt like you always seemed like a real veteran to me, in a sense that you accepted the gravity of the situation you were getting into, but you kept going anyways.
Yeah, well, that's important too. I mean, you know, a lot of things are important. They're a big deal. But at the end of the day, you know, you're going to win or you're going to lose, and the world's going to still spin. You're still going to wake up. You're still going to be hungry. I mean, it doesn't change who you are. You know, like, the only thing that changes who you are is how you perceive the outcome of the event. So, like, while I'm going to compete to the best of my ability, and that's the most important thing for me, is to compete to the best of my ability, you know, the outcome is going to be, you know, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. You know, but after I win or I lose, I'm still going to be me, you know, so, like, it doesn't really matter, like, winning and losing. The only thing that matters about winning and losing, I tell this to all my fighters, too, is the only thing that matters, the biggest difference in winning and losing is what you have to tell people at the end of it. I lost. And they're going to be like, first they're going to look at you and be like, oh, man, what happened? And then they're going to be like, and then they're going to forget about it, because they really don't care anyway, you know. Or you're going to win, they're going to be like, oh, man, you done kicked this butt. And then they're going to forget about it, you know, so it don't really matter. So, like, but what matters is how you feel about it yourself. You know,
is that something that came to you with age, turning 35
oh, yeah,
this year?
for sure. Like, because, you know, all them years where I thought, like, it'd be the end of the world if I lost, you know, people are just going to go, oh, man, you lost. What happened, dog? What happened? Man, I lost. All right, want to go drinking? Yeah, let's go. You know, it doesn't matter. So, but what will matter is how you feel about it inside. Like, if you go out there and you don't perform to the best of your ability, that'll eat you up. And that's the one thing that kind of ate me up for a long time. When I fought B.J. Penn, and I really didn't know what it was, and that's what it was. When I fought B.J. Penn, you know, I made one little mistake, and it ate me up for a long time. And, like, so now when I go into a fight, I want to go into a fight and have a perfect performance. If I get beat having a perfect performance, there was nothing I could have did about it. If I, you know, in fact, I would much rather, you know, lose a fight and have a good performance than, you know, not have a good performance and fight somebody who sucked and still win.
No, it's a great perspective, you know, and I think I think a lot of young fighters can take something away from that.
And a lot of young fighters don't understand that because a lot of young fighters fight for the wrong reason. A lot of young fighters fight to impress people. They fight because like it's the big thing right now. You know, they see these guys on TV. I get guys who come here, they want to make some money. You know, I'm like, man, you ain't gonna make no money. But they want to impress people. They want to make some money. They're fighting for all the wrong reasons. They're not fighting because it's in their heart, and that comes out always. That comes out in training. When a person is training for a fight for about 2 weeks, if they're not fighting because they love to fight and it's in their heart, man, they ain't gonna fight. They're not gonna be. If they do fight, they're gonna get beaten or gonna quit. You know, and I tell you right now, I'm not a quitter when it comes to this game. So.
Well, I think we've seen that. You got staying power. You're 15 years in, going on your 16th year right now.
Man,
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, undefeated professional boxer.
Yeah, man.
Former top-ranked lightweight in the entire planet. You beat, you know, Jens Pulver, who we mentioned, former UFC champion. I think I remember you heel hooked him and tore his ACL in that fight.
Yeah, man, I've been around, man. I'm like Big Daddy Kane.
Man, it's
still coming back with an album.
It's remarkable, you know, to see, you know, guys who come in and they run, you know, a tremendous run for a couple of years and they're gone, you know, and like a name that comes to my mind is Dave Terrell is a guy who I think everyone thought Dave Terrell was going to be the greatest thing in MMA for the next 10 years. And, you know, like it's very hard. The training's hard on your body and guys don't have that staying power. How have you been able to keep your body in one shape, in one piece for 15 years?
Well, one is, you know, I love what I'm doing, you know, so. And this is one thing I always tell people is that the love of what I'm doing is more important than fatigue. It takes precedence over fatigue. So people get tired. I get tired too, but because I love what I'm doing, I won't let fatigue really affect me. I stay, you know, let's go another one, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I think a little bit more defensively. I mean, that's what the essence of jiu-jitsu was about, and that's why before anything else, you know, I've boxed professionally. A lot of people, you know, think highly of my stand-up skills, but even more so than that is I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, and the essence of jiu-jitsu is defending yourself. So I stay out of, like, odd positions. Even if I lose a fight, you know, I always, you know, come away from that fight okay, because, like, I've defended myself in a fight. Like, I'm not going to go out there and take a beating, you know, because with jiu-jitsu, I just don't do that. So, and a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people don't have it in their heart to really understand the game that way. They don't have the knowledge to understand the game. And the game isn't just about fighting fire with fire. It's fighting fire with a fire extinguisher or with water. So that's what I do is a problem, and I solve it. You know, and if I can't solve it, I'm going to keep trying. You know, so. And that's how I've been able to stay relevant in this game, man. 15 years in, and I still feel fresh. You know, I'm not too banged up. You know, you do take some wear and tear on your body, but I'm not too banged up. And, you know, I could fight another couple years if I wanted to. I don't know if I want to, but
depends on the money, I'm sure.
Depends on the money. But just, you know, again, you know, I think that I'm talented in other areas too, and I like to really display that multifaceted, you know, display of. I just want to just show everybody what I'm made of, what I can do, and I can do a lot more than just throw my hands and feet. So, you know, whatever avenue, or whatever door opens up, wherever I end up, you know, I'm gonna be right there on the front line, like, yo, here I am.
Man, for 15 years you've been doing that. You've been proving people wrong. I remember a time where people thought you were a boxer and you showed them that you were a jiu-jitsu guy. And I think anyone who tries to peg Dean Thomas as any one thing is going to always be disappointed. I'd like to see, I can see you definitely taking over a role in broadcasting over the next couple of years. And but I'm still really intrigued at seeing you make a run at this. I want to know if there's a guy out there at 155 right now that's making waves that you think, man, I match up really good with that guy. I'd really like to see how it goes.
Well, you know, that's the thing is I can't fight at 155 no more. I think that you know, I think that's another big change in the game as it is today than it was back then. Is that the size? The game has changed there, where the size of the guys has really gotten a lot bigger. You know, so I can't really compete at 155 against a certain style of guys. When you look at guys like, you know, Ben Henderson and, you know, some of the bigger wrestlers, you know, it's hard for me to compete against them because, you know, they get on top of me and then they can stay on top of me because I like to play the bottom game. Like, they don't necessarily hurt me, You know, I never really get hurt by that, but I just can't win that battle in the judge's eyes.
It's like an uphill battle.
Yeah,
for
so
you.
so I decided to go down to 145 to compete because like they're, you know,
Oh, that's great
yeah,
news.
Yeah, so as I'm fighting the smaller guys, I'm able to keep them off me or at least create a scramble to fight back up. So to answer the question at 145, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys. You know, I mean, it's a bunch of guys at that weight. You know, I always told Sean Shelby, I said, man, listen, when I go back to when I fight in the UFC, I want to fight Leonard Garcia. You know, so I mean, and not to say that I'm not calling him out by any means. I mean, I just, you know, I think that, you know, I think he's a good fighter, and I just like to fight good guys. So.
Yeah, I think that'd be an exciting fight. I remember you had a real exciting fight with Chris Lytle in Ultimate Fighter. I think it could be similar to that.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you get guys like, you know, that really like to bang out. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I thrive better off those type of guys. You know, and I think that the biggest problem I had in my career was, you know, when I'd fight guys that really wanted to stay on top of me, hold me down, and just kind of score points that way. And I'm not knocking that style because that's the style that beat me. And, you know, guys, you got to do what you got to do. Again, problems and answers, you know. Their problem was me, you know, having a wicked stand-up game. They took me down and held me down. You know, but, you know, I don't think guys at 145 have the ability to do that. So, hopefully, you know, when I'm